Bing bong. Bing bong. What's poppin', guys? I had asked you a couple weeks back now. Yeah, time's kind of just dissipated from me. But I'd asked you on my Instagram a few weeks ago things you'd like me to cover on this channel. With the news coming out recently about 777 investing in the BBL, I thought now was a good time to talk about British basketball and what I think in a perfect world would help British basketball reach its potential. Let's discuss in the comments, man. If you agree with anything I'm saying, if you disagree, let me know. If you got something else. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I know I've asked things in the past on my Instagram. I really want to have grow a community where we can have this back and forth. I can ask you questions on my socials and you guys can get back to me and we'll discuss it here. Like, I would love that. I just feel like it's more fun that way, you know? So please bear with me. Call it a New Year's resolution. I will get to them in one way or another about some of the other stuff we've discussed on Instagram in the past. Up until then, keep your eyes peeled. By the way, follow me on my socials. And then keep your eyes out the next time, and maybe you'll make it into a video. Maybe. Be gang and hit that subscribe button and let's do it. So yeah, 777's invested in the BBL. I need my phone. I'm trying to go off the dome. I don't remember anything. First of all, let's just start with money. Like, with the news that's happened. Obviously that's good. Like, well, money means lots of things. It's like the crux of the problem. They say money doesn't solve happiness. Well, it damn sure solves a lot of other things. I think this is the only point I really want to make with money, because some of the initial knee-jerk reaction from players, I feel like, is just that if BBL players aren't getting more of that money and we aren't seeing that money, then it's fake. While as a player I could appreciate that, I flat out would love to get paid more. I don't get paid enough now. To be quite frank, I don't think any of us do in the league. I think we all play under our value a little bit playing here. But it's the nature of it. But I understand why we wouldn't even see this initial investment if I'm in that position that I'm just not putting my money into the players first. Because there's no longevity there, I feel like. If you put the money into the players, okay, let's just raise the salary of some of these players. Well, that's short term. These players may leave the league. These players may get injured. They may not be worth what you're giving them. And not much changes. You just have higher paid players. You haven't done anything for the actual infrastructure. So I feel like as a player, we kind of have to be patient, because with the infrastructural changes that I guess we're hoping that will be made, money for us eventually follows. I could now get on your side if we had added a new franchise, marketing's better, digital presence better, so on and so forth, and we're still not seeing a cut. Guys are still getting paid peanuts. So I think if there's investment in the infrastructure, then as players we just have to play our part and be patient, and hopefully the trickle down will come a little bit later down the line. I think it's a bit premature to just, where's my money, man? It don't make sense to me. More content. Something British basketball has also struggled to do for a few years now is be on mainstream coverage. Now, if you just look around you and look at the simulation that we seem to be living in right now, you don't have to rely on the mainstream. Coverage can be anywhere. Like, look at me. Look what I'm doing right now. I'm standing in my apartment living room in front of a green screen, talking to myself to create content about the league I'm playing in. I mean, go on YouTube, there's tons of fan channels that doesn't necessarily come from the TV or the BBC, Sky, etc., etc. Now, while I think those things are good, I think it just means that the doors are open for a lot of people. People want more, so give it to them while there's a space for it. And I'm a massive believer in, once the mainstream usually gets hold of something, it gets watered down anyway. While I think that mainstream coverage is important, I always feel like the content sits best at the source. The heart of the culture always comes from its community. If more people were involved in that side, and a lot of people right now are doing a great job, flowers to all of them, myself included, everybody, raises the level of the content that we put out. It adds that little bit extra something. If people want it, people are going to find it. So this fits kind of in with my last point. So I think players have a responsibility to produce their own content. Why am I saying this? Just so I don't feel so crazy and alone by myself? No, absolutely not. Fans at the end of the day, and fans, Giants fans, whoever fan, I'm sure a lot of you would love to see a lot more from your favorite BBL players other than them just playing basketball. We'd like to get to know them a little bit. And again, it's the same thing. The mainstream may never cover every single person on the team. Fans are still going to have fan favorites, etc., etc. I think it's a player's responsibility to, and it doesn't necessarily have to be YouTube. This one just seemed the most as fun to me. But whatever you do, I've had discussions with my friends in the summer. You can watch any of my podcasts. I'm sure I bring it up more than once or twice. I think in the day and age that we're in, handling your business off the court is developing a brand. I honestly think the players have to contribute. You can't just be sitting on our hands the whole time and waiting for everything around us to sort of just get us to the promised land. More quality British players. So that just means some people have to come home, man. Maybe it's easier for me to say this because I'm here now and I'm in an amazing situation, one that I'm enjoying a lot. But I'm not a big believer in complaining about something and then not coming up with a solution or moving towards a solution. And I personally found myself maybe complaining about the state of British basketball. And then I sat down and I was just thinking to myself, well, what's one thing the league needs? Well, it'd be better if we had better British players. We had players associated with franchises and this, that, the third, so on and so forth. And I'm looking at myself and where I'm at in my career and I'm like, well, I could be one of those players. I think it takes a few more people to do that. We need less people in the mindset of, well, when the league's better and they'll pay me a lot of money, then I'll come home. Maybe I've been spending a little bit too long on Wall Street bets, but like, you gotta get into the bottom, man. I feel like it's some things like you gotta look ahead to the future. You can't always reach things at its peak. I think it's important for British players to come home. Again, maybe we can talk to me about it in the comments. I'm done with this one. Overall marketing. If there's one thing I want to see a lot with this money going, it's just the overall marketing of the BBL. Just, it needs to be more advertised as much as possible. The BBL player needs to get fixed. So for example, let's say I am playing a game and I post a link to my Instagram and I'm trying to get people to watch, and someone just for the first time goes, you know what, I've never seen a basketball game, let alone a British basketball game, let me check it out. And they click on the BBL player, and if you're a frequent to the BBL player, the whole key motion, been that automatic, motion sensor camera, that it's gotta go, man. They have this camera that is missing transition plays. The outside message that we're showing about the club, about the league, it doesn't look professional. Their own social media need to be posting more, creating stories, like players telling their stories. The most important thing about the league is the players. Flat out, that is who the fans are there for. The players that make up the clubs that they care about. So they want to hear about their stories. That's what they want to get behind. Sports is all about stories. That's why people love them so much. They can get behind stories. They can root for people and different storylines. Got to do a better job creating that. Everyone can get behind it a bit more when there's a bit more of a narrative created. Something big leagues do very well. Something to go along with this, I think, is something to note. There's 3 competitions in this league, and my dad, for example, when we just made it to the cup finals, he asked me on the phone, he was like, why was everyone so excited? I don't understand. He has no idea that we just made it into a cup final, and I'm sure he is not the only one. I've seen complaints about this before, and I tend to agree. It's quite confusing. Unless it's explained, nobody has a clue, and I think the confusion in the competitions will put a lot of people off. If it's just difficult to follow, again, they can't get behind the narrative. So yeah, like I said, they're just my thoughts on things that I think could help British basketball. If you agree or disagree, or have something to add to the conversation, please put in the comments down below. Subscribe, be gang. Goodbye. Have a beautiful night.
Wherever I go, I blow, no homo, no Michael. This not a thriller, this my story. It gets scary, I know. My mind different, thinking bigger with it. One thing I know, I will not be penny pinching.